Hi. In this video, we will have a general overview of what the code generator will do and how to navigate inside of it. The image you have here is what you see right after you logged in. You'll see here on your left that you have projects, you have a database model, you have something about applications, and something about administration. Depending on what type of product you bought from us, or whether you have a free version, you can have several projects inside the code generator. We select the project by going to Project, and then your projects will be listed here, the ones that you're working on. So if I select a project, I do that by clicking on Details here. Then now on, I'm working with that project, and that means if I go to the database model, for instance, and I look at schemes, well, the schemes you see here will be the schemes that are related to the project I just chose. If I go back, I choose another project, order handling, and I go to data model and I see schemes, you will see other schemes which of course are related to the order handling. We are going to work with the order handling in this video, and we are going to work with the database model. I'll go through each and every level of the hierarchy in this database model. I'll even change a few things, and we will look at the results afterwards. So hang on here, and within the next 10 minutes, we will actually make a very nice application. Okay, so let's get started. At first, I will go to the scheme called Products. I'll not change anything in Products, the scheme itself, but I'll go down to the tables here where I have a number of underlying tables. I will spend my time on one table, which is the product table itself. So I'll go in here. We have a ton of choices here, and I will update this product, and I'll go through these choices with you. So let me update at first. The first tab here is Standard, which is the name of the table and the description. We don't have to change anything there. The next scheme here is, or the next tab is a scheme choice. This is located on the products, so that's fine. Limit tables is actually the function I use when I go to in API Tailor, in the user interface of the code generator. When I go to projects and I select the project, and I go to database models, and I go to scheme, and the data for that specific project, the schemes comes up and not the other projects. That's actually done here when I created the user interface for the code generator, just by saying, okay, limit table is project. So any active project will then filter all the data afterwards. We don't have to change anything here. General is the label for the product table, and the label in plural. The products, that seems okay. Record or access means how much of the records that a user can look at. All allowed means that a user can see everything, of course. Owner records allowed means that a user can only see the records that user have created or owns him or herself. Owner records allowed, that means you can see all. Yeah, that's a given. It's the same as the one above. But here the administrator can see everything. The rest is not relevant right now, so we'll get back to that in a while. Show in list is basically, and it's probably a good idea that I take the running application up here. So let us take a look at the order system while we do this. If I go into products here and products, I will see a list here, a name and a group, etc., etc. I can turn on in that list who created it, who owns it, when was it created, etc., etc. I'm not going to do that, but I can do that, and then these fields will show up in this list. Validation is a validation of product name. We use regular expressions for that. I'm not going to set any validations here. Design table information is basically the way a product is presented. And here we are going to make some changes. The design form, which is basically the one you see here, is now in columns, 3 columns, and each field group is in a separate panel. I would like that to be 1 column and then tabulated. So instead of having these on one screen, I will have small tabs, and then I can tab between them. And that is because I know that products will be a complex table, and we want separation here. So I'll put that tabulated. The design list right now isn't presented as a records in a list. Like here, I could also choose to show them in small cards. An example of a card showing would be the projects here. That's a card. You could show your products in the same way if you wanted to. Design relations, at this point, we would like them tabbed as well. I'll come back to how that works in a second. Design panel, which is basically, let me log myself in again. The color of the panels on top, let me make those dark blue, for instance. And the attachment display means how to treat attached comments and files and images. And I would like that tabbed as well, just to keep a way of doing this. If I go back to the field group width here, if we look at field groups here, you can see that in the details here we have 33% width in the products right now, and that's reflected over here. The fixed, that one, 33%. The relation, which is that one, 33%, etc., etc. I could put those at 25%. I could put them at 50. In this case, 33 is actually okay. Because the extra here I'm going to hide. So 1, 2, 3 will give 100%. That will give a nice detail page. So let me put it there. The logs is a way of, this is something you do late. Usually you do it late in your project, where you go in and say on the table products, for instance, I would like, as a programmer, to take over the HTML code. Typically, once you have auto-generated some HTML code, you are kind of okay with it, and the client have said this kind of what I'd like to have. Then you might want to go in and change some stuff in that code, and then you don't want it to be overridden once the system is regenerated again. And you can simply lock this override by the HTML, or locking the HTML, and then you will be in charge of whatever is written there. And you can do that for URLs, you can do it for views, you can do it for APIs and API serializers, you can do it for your forms and your models. So, but initially we are doing prototyping. Usually we don't want to lock things. We can also see when things were last generated, and obviously if you lock stuff, that date will not change. We can upload some extra code. I'll back to that. That also have to do with how things are being regenerated. And at the end, we can change the sequence number. I would actually like products to be first. So yeah, right in 5, that seems a little unlogical, but the idea is that you usually go 10, 20, 30, 40. So the first one is now 5 or 10. So if I write 5, I will put products first in the menu. So that's basically it. Let me save what I got here, and I'm back to my products. Everything now is changed. If I sign form, 1 column tabulated, etc., etc. So I've changed that. I will do one more change before trying to regenerate and showing you what I actually did here. I'll go to the field groups. We have 2 field groups under products. Let me do a little trick here. I will hold the control button down and click go and show, and you will actually have the 2 groups here, and then you can update them directly in another tab in your browser, at least if you're using Chrome as I'm using. Under under design, instead of choosing design choice 33% panel, I will say tabbed panels with full width, and I will also do that for my product dimensions here, which basically means that those 2 will be in tabs as well. We are not gonna change any colors and stuff like that, and so I'll just save them as they are. And let's go back to our product here, and I will go to my project now underneath order handling, and I will do a code generation. That means that I basically overwrite what I've just done in my application. So let me code that. And that's, by the way, how you usually work as a designer here in the prototyping phase. You go in, you do some changes, you do a code regeneration, you go look at your running application, maybe take it up with your clients, and then you move on until you and your clients are on the same page when it comes to how the application looks and feels, etc., etc. So yeah, here we go. We are still around 25,000 coding lines for this. I will go to my order handling system again. I will log in as before. Now we have overwritten the code, of course. So if I go to products now, you will see that products are on the top. That was because we changed the sequence number from 20 to 5. So now products has the lowest sequence number and will be on the top. The list is the same as before. If we go into the details, we will now see that we have the fixed the relations and the help as 33 boxes as we chose, and the field groups, general and dimensions, are now in tabs. We also have this dark blue color because we chose that. We will see that our relations are in tabs as well because, yeah, again, we chose them to be in relations, and our attachments are in tabs, again, because we chose so. We will also see that if we click the update button, that now everything is in tabs. Just based on the tweaking we did on the product tables choices and the field group choices. In the next video, I will go through some of the field choices and look at what impact that will have. Thanks for watching this one.